Hey, I'm Amelie and I'm a real estate agent in Bangkok. We're going to be talking about what you need to know about renting an apartment in Bangkok.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight I'm here with Amelie and we are going to tell you everything you need to know about renting an apartment here in Bangkok. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Eric. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, but about 4 years ago, I found myself over here in Thailand. If you're living in Thailand or if you're visiting soon, hit the subscribe button. We've got so many cool people coming on in the next few weeks, and I don't want you to miss anything. Links for everything we talk about will be in the description, and make sure you drop us your comments and your questions below so we can get those answered. Now, let's get started. Amelie.
Hey.
So we met a few months ago, a year ago
No, I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Or a year and a half, I don't know.
Okay.
It was quite a while, yeah.
Where did we meet originally? Was it at Above 11?
Yeah, so we met at Above 11 with a group of friends. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember I found out you were a real estate agent.
Yes, I am.
And I think I was looking for a place at the time.
Oh, yeah. So that was like the topic that we talked
Yeah,
about.
we were talking about having
the
cats in the
entire
apartment.
night. Yeah, having about cats, about like, finding an apartment. So that was like the moment for us to bond. That's how we became friends.
Yeah. And, coming to this city and trying to find an apartment, it's not the easiest thing, to be honest, especially if you don't know how the norms are here.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to find an apartment in my home city of Boston, but when I came here, you really have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
And so many people, they contact me and they're asking me, Eric, like, how can I find a place? Like, what do I need to worry about? What about the deposit?
Yeah.
All these kinds of things. So I thought it would be a lot easier to have you on. And I'm going to ask you all these questions and you can answer them.
Okay, but let me ask you this first. How did you get your first apartment here?
So that's a great way to start. So I found my first apartment like this. I didn't know anything about Bangkok. I had a friend of a friend who had lived here, and he said, you should go live in Thong Lo, which is a really nice kind of high-so area, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most expensive areas of Bangkok,
right?
Right?
It is, yeah.
I didn't know that at the time, but I said, okay, I'll check it out. And I went on Airbnb, and at that time, and we're going to talk about this, that's when the new law came into effect about short-term stays being illegal.
Yeah.
So you can't rent short-term. So I said, okay, I'll come for a month.
Yeah.
So I went on Airbnb. I found a place that looked good right next to the BTS station, and I rented it for a month. And it turned out actually me and the landlord got along really well.
Yeah.
And after that month, I ended up renting from that guy outside of Airbnb.
Okay.
Like for almost a year after that.
Okay, that was easy then.
Yeah, I got lucky though.
Yeah, it was actually from like an Airbnb, and then you just got.
Yeah.
But
that's definitely not the experience of everyone. Not everybody on Airbnb is the same.
Yeah.
So, but let's get into it. So first, what is the current market like after COVID?
So the market after COVID, it is sort of like fascinating. So people are coming in more and more. People moved here for work. That's for my experiences. So people are here for work, and then people are traveling. So Bangkok is now like a full city. So it's very international, very vibrant. The market renting is crazy. So like I would say Bangkok market is unpredictable. So you could never know when it's there, when it's going to be gone, when it's going to be available again. So you could never know. You could never predict it.
Do you think the prices now are the same as they were before COVID, or are they still kind of below that average?
I would say before COVID, it was even higher.
Okay.
It was even higher because because at the time COVID never existed, and then the price was actually what it was. You either accept it, take it or leave it. They don't care, right? Because Bangkok is kind of like, it's a city that the owners don't really care. If you don't take it, you're gonna find someone else take it like in a hot second. Like they don't need you. Like let's say like they're not like super desperate to find someone to rent it, So the price before was, I think it was a little bit higher than now.
Yeah, and by the way, I've noticed that especially with Thai owners, they could have a super high price and it could sit empty for 6 months, 8 months, a year, and they do not care.
They do not
They'll
care.
just leave it empty. It's not like in America, if it's empty for 2 months, you're lowering the price for sure.
Yeah.
But here, sometimes I find it really hard to negotiate. Like they just refuse to move on the price.
Yeah, well, to be honest, like I don't understand that logic either. So they like, so the owners that they like have the money to buy property in Sukhumvit, which is like the most expensive area in Bangkok, right? So if they have a house in Sukhumvit, especially in Thonglo or Phrom Phong, these two areas, the most expensive, Thonglo and Phrom Phong. So let's be real, like they are like already like wealthy. So they have like tons of property, not just one, not just two, but like 10, 20. So, and sometimes they just bought the property with cash, and they don't have to like the owner. So the thing is, the owner would be like, they would want to negotiate, they would want to listen to you if they're still like paying off the mortgage. But if any owner at all that they bought the property with cash, they sort of like, it's done.
It's not like they need to make a
they
payment.
They need to make like a cash flow or anything. Like if there's no one renting it, I'm not in a weird place, you know, I still have my money. So, and quite frankly, the Thai owner, they just let it sit there. They don't want to renovate it. It's still super old, and you know, more of them that they're not even open to do anything with it. So like they come with a mindset of like take it or leave it, you know. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So where do you think the best neighborhoods are for foreigners, especially if someone's new to coming to Thailand? Where would you suggest they go?
I said Thonglo or Phrom Phong for sure, hands down. I like anyone at all that comes to Bangkok, they love Thonglo and Phrom Phong. Mostly Phrom Phong, because Phrom Phong is like, okay, is you know, Phrom Phong has a park, Bencha Street Park, that, you know, it's a little park in the middle of like the city where people just go and run and like to hang out with friends or like eating whatever. And then there are like tons of shopping malls around, BTS and like subway station, and there are like restaurants, cafe, and other like bars and clubs within like a walking distance. So I think Phrom Phong and Thonglo is two of the most popular spot.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
The one thing about like Phrom Phong though that maybe is a negative is that it's really busy.
It is
a
really
lot of
busy.
people. And if you prefer maybe a little bit more quiet neighborhood, like me, I don't want to be so much in the busyness.
Yeah.
Then I came a little further out. Thonglo is definitely quieter, but now we are actually we're sitting right now one step after that.
Yeah.
We're in Amelie, which is even
Amelie.
quieter.
Yeah.
So here I think it feels a little more like a neighborhood, but it's still really easy to get on the train and go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree. This area, these few stops along the line here, Phrom Phong, Thonglo, Amelie, I think these are great spots for foreigners because there's everyone basically speaks English. Yeah. But it also doesn't feel like, you know, or
it's
something like that.
It's international because like Phrom Phong and Thonglo is giving city vibes, full on city vibes. So people speak English, obviously. Like if, for example, if you want to go to like the area in Bangkok, for example, like Phaya Thai or Bang Wa, Bang Na, which is like off the town, you're gonna find just local that don't interact much with foreigners. So stay in a city like, you know, like Phrom Phong and Thonglo is easy for foreigners because everything, like all the people that work in the restaurant, they speak English, and like it's easy. So if you wanna stay away from the chaos, I would say Ekam and Prakanong. Prakanong is pretty good as well. Prakanong is still
There's only one problem with Prakanong though now, which is the big benefit of living there, for me anyway, was W District.
Oh, okay.
Do you know W District?
Yeah,
it's like an outdoor food market with all these different food shops.
It's very nice.
But it's closing soon.
Huh?
They're building. I think they're building a condo on it, and it was supposed to close last year, I think, but it's delayed.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
I heard about it, but I didn't actually think that it's gonna happen.
I actually think better than Prakanong is one stop further, and An Nut. Because An Nut,
that's where I lived in. An Nut.
Is that where you live right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you get really good value for your money there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big local Thai community. Like there's foreigners, but not so many foreigners.
It's a mix,
And there's a lot of things there. They have the mall. They've got Tesco Lotus.
They have Tesco Lotus. They have like many different mall, like supermarket like nearby 7-Eleven, like at least 3-4
Big
7-Eleven.
C is there too. So everything you could want there.
Yeah, and it's like it's not crazy expensive. Like for example, if in Phnom Penh, well, you get a luxury. It's good lifestyle, but to eat something, you might have to get a bite out to go to a restaurant. Let's say like, you know, but in On Nut, it's just so easy. It's just so simple. Like you walk out 2 steps away from your condo and you have like everything, like market, big C.
Yeah, and I think one thing that people forget is depending on where you live, like in Phnom Penh, for example, even to go get food, the daily cost of living is so much more in a place like Phnom Penh compared to An Nut.
Yeah.
Because An Nut, it feels much more local, I think. The
Yeah.
prices are lower. The motorbike taxis are lower. If you try to get a motorbike taxi out closer into the downtown area, it can be like double the price for the same thing, which you know you might not think is a big deal, but if you're doing it every day, multiple times a day, those things can add up.
Yeah. So I live in On Nut, but I spend most of my time every day in Phnom Penh because of my work. So I have like showings, and my expertise is like, you know, Phnom Penh, Thonglor, Ekamai, Asok. So what I do, well, I can take a BTS because like my condo is like, you know, 5-minute walk to BTS, but I get a bite out. So, but I think now like taking a bite, the price is not much of the different than taking BTS. So BTS from On Nut to Phnom Penh is like, I don't know, like 40 baht, 45 baht, let's say, and pretty much the same price I pay.
Right. That's true.
With Grab, you know, and faster. So to me, like, you know, On Nut is great, cheaper and you know, easier to buy food, and it take me like 10 minutes to get to Phnom Penh.
Okay. So I'm living in Ekamai now. That's where we are now.
Yeah.
And I like it, but I've been in this area for like 4 years already. So I want to try something different. And I'm thinking of going to Asok because I'm there a lot. I have friends there. The only thing is, it's super busy there.
If you say Phnom Penh is busy, try Asok. It's even worse.
I know, but the benefit for me is there's so much around there that I go to anyway that I feel like I can just walk out of my apartment and be wherever I want to go.
I feel like Asok is very center.
Yeah.
Because like it's just right here in the middle of Sukhumvit and Sathon, you know. So it's
a huge intersection in the city.
So there are like many shortcuts to Silom, for example, like to get around Bangkok, and you start from Asok. I think it saves you a lot of time.
Okay. Plus the MRT and the BTS.
The MRT and the BTS,
there.
And Terminal 21, and then the park, Benchakiti, the big park that's just open. So the pet friendly park.
So like I said, I'm going to be looking for an apartment soon. How do you recommend foreigners go about finding an apartment? What are the best ways?
Get an agent. So if you want to look for an apartment in a website, it's probably gonna take quite some time, because agent that post their listing on a website, it take them a while to get back to you, and then the listing are not updated. So what you see on a website, you just can't trust that. You just, you know, most of the time it's like a listing that was available like 3 years ago, and they just never take it off.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. So some of the big websites to look for listings are what? DD Property,
HipFlat. But I think like HipFlat is the most popular for foreigners.
Okay, so DD Property and HipFlat, we'll recommend those.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, I've experienced. Like you'll find a great apartment, you really like it. It says it's available.
You get all excited about it, and you contact the agent, and they're like, sorry, it's not available.
But why do they do that? Do they do that because they want to just get people to contact them and they'll show them a different place? Like, do they do that on purpose, or are they just lazy about updating it?
Both. They just like, you know, besides the agent, we have way too many properties that sometimes we might forget about updating each one of them. And also leaving it there could get them potentially like new clients as well. You know, it could attract some people like, hey, this look good. And then once they contact you, you are there. Like, you know, a prospect.
Because I have a friend of a friend who had a really nice apartment at Celeste Asok.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a really nice building. But her apartment was super well decorated and everything. And I knew for a fact her lease ended in whatever, January, let's say. But they left that listing on there all year. And they just say like, oh, it was just rented. And they're BSing. But they use it to get leads
to get
it looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because in Bangkok, it's quite challenging to find an apartment that is like fully renovated, super modern, nice kitchen, great light, great natural light. So to have that, it's very cashy. So like if you want, like it's get rented fast, but then if it's still on a website, of course it's gonna attract people because you don't find that everywhere in Bangkok. Not every landlord have like that taste of like having something modern.
So you said you should start by finding an agent, but how do you find an agent?
So I would say like on the website, just agent everywhere. You would never find landlord posting.
You mean on like a property listing website, like DD Property?
Yeah, DD Property, He Flat, they all agents, right? But to contact the agent from those websites, it take a long while for them to get back to you. So the quickest way to rent an apartment is on Facebook, like Facebook platform, like like apartment rental, Bangkok apartment, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups where it's
there are like Facebook group where you can find like millions of agents posting
and
listing.
in the groups, because I've done this, and you said you saw my post. You can post like, I'm a guy from America, I'm looking for a 1-bedroom apartment, 1-year lease, whatever, and then everybody
and all the agents get hungry, and then
because they see the blood in the water.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, like this is a new meat, so but again, if you post your inquiry on Facebook group like that, you will get hit up by tons of agents.
Yeah, and it's good and bad, because the bad part is you might put exactly what you're looking for. You might say, I'm looking for a 1-bedroom apartment in Amelie, and you'll get agents contacting you about a 3-bedroom apartment in Hoi Quang.
And they send you something different. So this is the thing, is like, okay, it's just good and bad about it. So it's easy to find an apartment. So okay, you go on Facebook, and that's how you find agents. So that's how you see option whatever is on the market at the time. But you will get unprofessional agents.
Okay.
Quite a lot as well. Because like, what I mean by unprofessional agents, like agents that don't really like read about your requirement. Like, oh, you want a 1-bedroom, and they send you like 3-bedroom. You want like a 30,000 condo, and they send you like like 80,000, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like they're just like throwing you with whatever they have, but they don't really take the time to look into detail. So I would say like, well, it's good, like to post on Facebook like that is good, or like to contact like a trusted agency. You can find it on a website, on Facebook as well. Yeah, or like just like contact. You can contact them like via like Line. If you have like their Line account, they have like a full team of like admin, sales agent, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for this and that, and then they just send you a ton of stuff, and those are like legit, not just like BS.
Okay.
Offer.
I've noticed that when I talk to an agent about an apartment, they always ask me the same things. Do you know what I'm going to say? They always ask me where I'm from, what my job is. What my job is, and what visa I have.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that? Why are they asking that?
So people get offended a lot when they get asked like, okay, can you tell me your nationality? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what's your job? So it's like a little background check. So what I think is very normal. But when people find that offensive, is the way to deliver. Because like some agent, when they have like a little like language barrier, they don't know how to ask in the polite way, in a proper way. So it sounds a little bit like sketchy, like, what's your visa? You have work permit? It sounds weird.
But why are they asking? Why do they want to know?
Because like, so this is like very important question to ask before you get started with any offers at all. Because you work with the landlord, you work with the tenant, and you're like the agent in the middle, and you want to make sure that like it's not just anyone renting. So the owner want to make sure that he has a job here, and he like not just someone who is gonna stay, let's say, a month and leave. So the owner want to make sure that like he had like the person had, you know, the money, the, you know, like the stability, and you know.
Yeah, because so many people come here for just a few months. Maybe they run out of money. Maybe they need to go back home. And
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
really easy for them to just pick up and leave. And that could
Yeah.
put the owner in a tough situation.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are so many cases, like, not from my experiences, but I see it every day coming from like the landlord I work with or any agent friend that work with me. So there are some scammers out there, right? That they rent an apartment super like expensive apartment, and they're like, hey, so I have like, okay, like 100K to rent an apartment, and the owner was like, oh my god, the rent is expensive. So of course, like, the property owner is gonna want to know, what do you do for a living? Do you have like an income? Like, you have like, you know, a capacity to like to pay for rent throughout the year? Like, you sign a year contract, so like they want to make sure that you can just keep paying, like no hurdles, no issues in the future whatsoever. So they just want to make sure that you are like, you can be a good tenant and you can pay the rent. That's it.
But I know everybody out there is thinking like, okay, well, I'm not gonna, if I come to Thailand, I'm probably gonna have a tourist visa. Is that going to be a problem?
Well, it depends on the landlord. Many landlords are like really easygoing. So most of the time, they don't ask for what kind of visa you're on, but they would want to know what's your job, what you're doing.
Wow. I'll give you guys a tip though, because I get this question a few times.
Okay.
People are really, or they'll ask me, oh, do you have a work permit?
Yeah.
All you have to do is tell them, I'm moving to Thailand. I'm in the process of getting a work permit, or I'm in the process of getting an elite visa.
Yeah.
But right now I have a tourist visa. That's what I've said before, even though it wasn't true at the time. And that usually
It's give them
is
like
enough.
a reassurance that you're gonna stay. So the owner, like landlords here, they don't want anyone that renting it. Let's say you sign like for a year and then you leave after like 2 months. So they don't want that. So that's why they want to make sure that like, you know, they ask you about visa, if you have a work permit. So that's how they give them like peace of mind that like, okay, he's gonna stay in the country for a long time.
Okay, but what about this question about where are you from? Do some landlords, will they only rent to people of certain countries, or will they not rent to people from other countries? What do you think?
So obviously like landlord, so they don't pick too much, but they want to know like, okay, this is my property and I want to know who is that person renting my property, where are they from, you know, what's their background. So nationality doesn't matter that much, but
So have you ever had a landlord say, you don't have to say what group, but I know you're being so polite, but have you ever had a landlord say to you, I do not want to rent to someone of a certain group?
yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and that's so hard for me to like, geez, like you tell me that you don't want to rent it out to this group of people, and I obviously I can't tell them.
Yeah, and it puts you in an
That.
awkward position because, you know, it's really, you know, less about the group of people and more about that individual person.
Yeah.
Because, for example, I'm American, right?
Yeah.
So some people might think, landlords might think, oh, Americans, easy. But I can tell you there's a lot of bad Americans, you know, and you
yeah.
would know better by meeting
Yeah.
them and talking to
Yeah.
them, asking them some questions, versus another group, maybe the landlord says, I don't want to rent to those people, but you
Yeah.
meet them and you say, like, there's nothing, they look fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it depends. So like I have an experience where like the landlord will not rent it out until they get to meet the tenant in person. And then say, because like, you know, we don't have like application here. Maybe you have in the US, like where you like the landlord has to like review the application and approve.
Right.
Right. But here it's like very free. It's like anyone can just rent it. Some of the owners don't even care. They just rent it out. If you have the money to rent it, then
Yes,
good.
I think some of the owners, it's like, as long as you have a pulse, then they'll rent it to you. And others, they really want to know like where you're from, what your job is, what your visa is. So it really varies. But kind of going along with that, do you notice differences in owners, whether they're Thai or a foreigner owner? Like, do they act differently?
Depends again. So I work with both of them, right? So like Thai owners and foreign owners. So the Thai owners, they give you quick action. So whatever, like for example, like when there's anything at all that's happened in your apartment, you need something to be fixed. The Thai owner normally like is, they lived here, so they give you like quick action. Whereas like some of the foreign owner, they don't live in a country, and so like it take longer to process, to do stuff. But the owner, like I feels like the foreign owner, they are very straightforward. They know what they want. Like this is the price that I'm giving. Like this is not what they want. But Thai owner, sometimes they're like, how it's like with Thai, really like so nice, like very like accommodating. So some owner like, yeah, just playing nice. But foreign owner, very strict and straightforward.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed some differences because I've had a few different owners over the time I've been here. And I find that the Thai owners can be very relaxed and indirect. And so for someone like me from the Northeast US, I kind of, I appreciate the cultural difference, but it's not always easy because like if you need to get something done, like I needed something for immigration, it took them a month to get it. And it's just like too relaxed. Whereas in the US, if I were to say to them, I need this document, I would have it like the next day, the next business day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think you just get used to some of those things when you're here and you kind of come to expect it. But I would say if you're going to rent an apartment, I think that who you're renting it from, whether they're from a Western country, Asian country, or Thailand, it can make a difference in your experience about how they treat the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. But like the thing with the foreign landlord, what I like about it is like they make the apartment look super nice, which is so rare in Bangkok.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I feel that I have a special skill.
Yeah.
And that skill is if you show me an apartment and you just show me the furniture inside, I bet I can tell you who owns, what kind of owner owns it. Is it a Thai owner, a Western owner? Exactly. Yeah, because I've noticed that a lot of these I was looking at apartments last year and these really nice buildings, like Celeste Sok, for example. Really nice, brand new building, modern. And it looked like, with some of the Thai owners, it looked like they walked into the street, took a couch off the trash pile in the street and put it in the apartment. And then they rented it for like a super high price, or they're trying to. Do you ever like talk to these owners like, what are you doing?
Of course. Because like, it's a waste of time for agent as well to walk in there and see the absolute disappointment. So I feel bad for the clients as well. Walking in there, like, oh my God, that was like the minute I walked in with the clients, like, I know, this is not it. This is a waste of time. Like, why am I here? The picture looks amazing, but in the actual apartment just looks super like the choice of furniture is very funny. So yeah. So you can tell. So I like working with the foreign landlord because they like the apartments are super modern, and what is really rare in Bangkok is to have a really nice kitchen, some Western kitchen, like oven, stuff like that is not common here.
Yeah, oven is not really a thing in Bangkok apartments.
It's not.
I don't know if you noticed when you came in, I have a toaster oven, that thing on the counter, but I bought that separately.
Oh really?
Yeah, so you can always do that if there's something you don't like if you want an oven, you can go get an oven at Big C and put it on the counter.
Yeah, the thing is like, so most of my clients are like, most of them are Europeans, and they like some American as well, and they would request, oh, I want a dishwasher.
Oh, I've seen that.
So
I've
common.
been to foreigner apartments here for like a party or something, and I laugh because they have like a tabletop dishwasher that sits next to the sink. Yeah. And it's one of those things that I don't know, I got used to it here when there's no dishwasher.
Loved it. Most of the American people loved it, and they will not rent it until the owner buy you one. It's like my deal breaker. It's like, you either give me a dishwasher or I'm just gonna go somewhere
I'm laughing now, but when I first got here, there were a lot of things I was surprised about. Like, there's no dryer in any of the apartments, and I thought like, how do you dry your clothes? Because I've never put my clothes out on the balcony in my life before I came here. But that's how people dry their clothes here. It's just how it works. Yeah.
So yeah, you dry on a balcony. But I mean, some apartment here, they have like a little washing machine with like a drying function. So I guess it could work as well. But yeah, so most of the apartment here, no dishwasher, no oven, no dryer. So once like, so you would find all of those in the apartment that are owned by foreigners.
Right.
So like let's say like if you have like a European owner, oh my god, the apartment is on, you know, on fire in the market. People are fighting to get it. People, because like, oh my god, like where else are you gonna go get it, you know? Because first of all, it's like right in the middle of the city and it's so modern. Everything is newly renovated. Amazing furniture, great view, dishwasher.
So I know
dryer.
we're talking a lot about like the Thai owners versus the foreign owners, but I would feel bad if I didn't admit something, which is this apartment we're sitting in right now. This is a Thai owner, and actually I think she did a really good job with it because everything here basically came with it, which is not normal for this building. So it's not, you can generalize sometimes, but there's always exceptions. So you have to look at each individual case.
Yeah, but anyways, you could make a request, you know. So like, it's normal to request for something like, you know, for example, like if the sofa is super
So
like
I'm
run
glad you brought that up because last year there was an apartment that I found that I loved on Soi 23, Sukhumvit 23. I love the apartment. I love the layout. I love the design. I love everything. Except, and the apartment had been empty for 8 months. And there was only one problem. The couch was absolutely hideous. It was red. It was a red couch.
Ew.
And I was like, I told the agent, I'm like, tell them I'd love to take the apartment, but I just have one request. Can they please take the couch out? And the owner said no. The owner said, no, I don't have anywhere to put it. And I was thinking like, are you kidding me? Like you just take the, I don't care if you throw it over the balcony. I'll rent the apartment right now.
And
they
that
wouldn't
is the
do
kind
it.
of like owner that we Asian don't want to work with, you know, because there's no way you can rent it out. Unless there's like, you know, unless there are some people that like love the layout and the unit, but like, never mind, I'm just going to buy my own sofa. That works too. But that's tough. I don't understand the logic, but hey. Yeah, but anyways, you could make a request to the owner. So like that's totally normal. Like if, like, you know, you can adapt something like stuff like, you know, an oven. Maybe the owner would be willing to like to buy one if you request it, but depends.
But what do most apartments come with? We should say that.
So apartment in Bangkok comes fully furnished. So you would get like all the basic stuff.
But fully furnished can mean really built out and nice. Or it can mean like a bed and a couch and a junky coffee table. It can mean a lot of different things.
So in Bangkok, you could, all the apartment furniture are fully furnished with everything like ready to move. So like in like somewhere else, like in the US, you might, you know, it might be like, you know, common to rent unfurnished apartment,
right? That's how it mostly works. It's completely empty.
Yeah, because, and that is also why landlords in Bangkok are so picky with tenant, because they spend a lot of money on furniture.
Yeah.
Like they spend, like they buy, because like there are very nice high landlord, you know, like they are so wealthy and they like put a lot of effort into buying really high quality furniture. For example, like if they buy like a sofa that costs like 70,000, TV 30,000, and the whole kitchen plan, open kitchen that cost them like 300,000 stuff, for example, they're gonna be very picky because they spend a lot of effort and money into decorating.
Yeah, they want to protect their investment.
They want to protect their furniture, and then, you know, and yeah, so that's why.
So how far in advance should someone start looking for an apartment? Because back where I'm from in Boston, people start looking about 6 months before, and they'll sign a contract like 4 to 6 months before.
Yeah,
but here it does not work like that.
Here does not work like that. And then, so Bangkok market is very like fast paced. So as I said before, it's unpredictable, and the listing on the market does not stay for long. So based on like the amount of people that are coming here, apartments get rented out very, very quickly. So what you see on the market now, for example, on Facebook, if it's available today, it might not be 3 days later, you know? So that's why, like, if you start looking now, the stuff that you look now and I like this place, I want to have a look at it, and it won't be available. And most of the landlord, they would not hold for more than like a month.
I'm going to be moving in about 2 months, and I already contacted some agents, and pretty much nobody even wants to talk to me because they say it's too far in advance.
Oh my God.
And a lot of the times when you contact these agents or these owners, they basically want you to move in like the next day. They ask you like, when can you move in? Can you move in tomorrow? Can you move in this week? Can you move in next week?
That's like it's pushy. So
yeah, but it also has an advantage. So if you are able to move in right away, I think you have more negotiating power.
Yeah, exactly. If you're like, oh, I'm gonna book today and move in tomorrow, of course you have the power to negotiate, right?
Yeah, because you can say, can you take? I'll move in tomorrow. I'll give you the deposit tomorrow. Can you give me this price?
Because
I think that's tempting.
like tempting toward the owner because they don't want to have that gap. They keep losing money. They have to pay off the mortgage. They have losing money. So if you like, I'm gonna give you this offer and I'm moving tomorrow, so the owner is gonna take it. That's like a strong offer.
So my recommendation would be, if you're thinking about coming to Bangkok in a few months, or if you're a little early in the process, maybe figure out what neighborhoods you like, or pick out a few buildings that you think you like first. And then that way, when you get closer, you'll know exactly where you'd be looking.
I would say like do some research about the area that you want to live in first. What's your main priority, where you need to be nearby, because like I get asked by a lot of people that like, okay, when I ask them, okay, they were looking for an apartment but they don't know, they have no idea about the areas in Bangkok. So when I say, okay, because like if you work with an agent and like we're trying to give you like something that match you the most, and like if you don't know what you're looking for, and then we don't know how to work with it, right? And then if you say like anywhere in Bangkok, and that's too vague, and it's gonna be a little bit like it's gonna waste some time as well, because we're gonna keep sending you like 100 apartment, and you're gonna no, because that's too far, that's blah blah blah. So I think do some research first about the area.
Okay. What would you say, I'm just curious, when foreigners come here, like figure like a single foreigner, a guy or a girl, what do you think the average budget is that they tell you that they're looking for?
A single girl, the average, I would say like from like 25,000 for like for one person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like
what can you get
to
for
30.
What can you get for 25 to 30? Like describe it.
25 to 30. Depends if you like something new. Depends on what you like, right? So some people like get something really special for that price, but it's gonna be a bit old. Like the building is gonna be old, but you could get some like really nice unit apartment, like full renovation, but building is a bit older. Of course, you're not gonna get like a fancy rooftop swimming pool, but you get space. So that is like, it's worth the money, is the value, right? Because like, is that what you want? So, but 25 to 30, you could get a really nice condo building, but the room is going to be a bit small. Like you could get like, from 30 to 50 square meter, I would say. But great location, convenient.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. And that's what this room is. This room is 25.
Yeah. So it depends on what you like, really. If you like, if you want something really new, you have to make up your mind like, okay, the room is not going to be that big, and it's going to be pretty much like a typical like, like tiny apartment, but it's nice. You get to benefit like the facility, really nice co-working space, because like that's what like apartment in Bangkok offer you in a way, like something super luxury, like rooftop with the view, like high rise, co-working space, living, like library, gym, like really nice gym.
Yeah, so in my case, this room is 25,000 baht. It's not big. It's 35 square meters, but it's really not very big.
Yeah.
But it's 300 meters to the BTS.
Yeah.
There's an amazing pool on the roof, and there's a co-working space.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has great facilities. So I think you need to think about what things are important to you, and then you can decide how to use your budget, because not everything is important to everyone. If you're never going to go in the pool, then don't waste money on that.
Exactly, because people like, for example, if you don't care about the pool at all, you just work from home, and I need like, if you are someone that work from home, you're going to need a big apartment because you're not gonna care about facility. You don't use the pool. You don't go to the gym anyway, or you have a gym membership somewhere else. You don't need a condo gym. So those people will want like a spacious apartment with balcony. I don't know, if they work from home, they need some space and some airy, like big window light. But if you go to work, if you have an office, let's say, and these people, like, they're okay with having, like, you know, like somewhere convenient where they can walk to the BTS, or like they can use the gym and the pool after work to relax and use the co-working space from time to time. This really depends. So figure out what you want.
Besides the furniture,
Okay.
what is usually included in the price of the rent? Is electricity, is internet? Tell me about that.
No, so the price is just the rent. So internet, electricity, and water, you pay those separately.
Yeah,
So-
that's kind of been my experience. Although sometimes owners will include the internet for whatever reason. They have like Wi-Fi set up or something,
Yeah.
and that can actually be important to know because
Yeah.
if you're a foreigner coming here, some companies like True AIS, I don't know if you know this,
Yeah.
they either won't rent you internet if you don't have a work permit, or they'll make you sign a contract for a year. So I had to do that before. I had to do a 1-year contract. And if
Yeah.
you're not going to be here for a year, or if you're not sure what you're going to do, then that obviously isn't the easiest. So there are apartments out there though,
Yeah.
where the owner will include the internet with the rent.
Some, because it depends really. Like if, like from my experience, like if the owner has done real estate project like for a long time, and they like to like facilitate like people, they include internet. It's not because like it's not a thing, but like, I mean, it depends on them how nice they are. Like, you know, if they want to like, you know, give you some nice stuff, like if you rent it's like one of their offers. They're trying to make it like outstanding and like attractive, right? So you rent it and you don't have to worry about the internet, whatever. So I have it all covered. But I don't know, the price.
I had an owner like that.
Yeah.
I had an owner in this building, not this unit. It was during COVID. The rent, electricity, internet, and water all
Yeah.
included one price.
Yeah, because why? Because apartments and condos in Bangkok, you know, is a high competition.
Yeah.
So there are like millions and millions of units. Like one building, there are like 200, 300 units, right? And then of course, like the people that look for some like an apartment, they're gonna compare. So they have to make themselves outstanding. Not everyone offer you the Wi-Fi. So if any landlord at all that like offer you stuff like that, is the bonus point.
It can save you a lot of headache. So it just depends. If you're going to be here for like a year or longer, then I don't think it's really a big deal. But
Yeah.
especially if you're not sure how long you're going to be here.
This is also why you have like, you know, it's an advantage to work with an agent, because an agent could help you set up
Oh, sure.
Wi-Fi as well. Because the owner, they don't bother with that stuff. They're busy with their life enough. Real estate is not their main job. So agent normally like helping you like sort out, okay, cleaning services, like they just like recommend you, or sometimes even like help you set up stuff. So like helping you with the Wi-Fi, like cleaning services or stuff like that. You can just ask the agent to just sort of like provide you and make your life easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question I get a lot is it possible to rent an apartment for less than a year? Can you get a contract for less than a year?
Less than a year, yes, it is definitely possible. But 6 months is more common. So, well, as far as I know, landlords don't do anything less than a year. But some will accept 6 months.
Yeah. So obviously any landlord's going to want at least a year because it's best for them.
Yeah.
But depending on the circumstances, maybe especially if it's a unit that's been empty for a while, they might be willing to do 6 months.
Yeah.
But less than 6 months, I think it's going to be...
Sometimes they might increase the price.
Sure. So
If-
I
yeah.
did that a few times, not this apartment, but before. I rented a studio for 6 months, and they said if you do it for a year, it'll be 20,000. If you do it for 6 months, it'll be 22,000.
Yeah.
So, but
It's
it
like cash
depends.
flow, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad deal. It just depends on what you need. This one we're in right now, I negotiated because it was empty for so many months. I said, I'm willing to take it for 6 months. And then depending if I like it, I'll extend another 6 months.
Yeah.
And she went for it. She let me do it.
Yeah.
So, and I did end up extending to a full year. So it worked out, but.
Yeah, I feels like the link, like, doesn't matter as much as who's renting it. So they want to make sure that like you're gonna take care of my property, even though you'll rent it for 6 months. But if I like you as a person, if like we vibing, like if you making me feel at ease, it's like you're gonna take care of this property and you're not gonna trash it.
So what you're saying is, if you show up to meet the client, and they're wearing a neon Chong tank top and flip flops, and they have like the wristband from the full moon party, it's gonna be a lot harder to rent it.
Oh my god, because like, yeah, you know, it really depends, because I have clients that like they have like 200,000 like budget to rent. They can pay like 200,000 like every month rent for a year. That's a lot of money. This person is for sure super wealthy. And then once like the owner get to meet them, the owner's like, no, I don't want, like you know, I'm gonna give it to someone else, because like they become like super picky, because even though like, you know, they have very nice profile and, you know, they have the income, very stable income, but they give out the vibe of like party and 3 boys renting an apartment.
Oh, I understand.
So that, you know, it depends on the person as well. So
when you move in, what do the landlords expect as far as a deposit?
So like it's 2 months security deposit. So before the move in, you pay like 3 months upfront. So the 2 month security deposit, the landlord will keep it throughout the lease.
So 1 month for the first month's rent.
Yeah.
And then 2 months security deposit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stories online about people having a problem getting their deposits back. Have you had a situation like that?
From my experience, from my clients, from anyone, any landlord and any clients that I work with, never happen. Because in my contract, I think that I protect my clients like very well in terms of that, you know, and like the landlord I work with, they're, you know, they are very like professional investors. So I think the agent need to do anything in their power to write a good contract that cover everything, like protect both the landlord and the tenant, you know. So you need to write it down very clearly that like when you're gonna get it, how many days, and how long it's gonna take. You need a lot of updates. So like I feel like people that don't get their like deposit back, I don't know, it never happened in my experience, but maybe the contract is not clear enough, or the landlord is sketchy.
Yeah, I've had 4 landlords so far, and I've not really had a big problem. I had one little situation, which was not this apartment, but the one before it. I moved out, and when I moved out, I had it professionally cleaned. When I left, it looked like brand new.
Yeah.
Okay. And when the landlord sent my deposit back, it was missing, I don't remember how much, like 1,500 baht. And I said, like, why is this missing? And they said, oh, for cleaning.
Oh my.
And I said, it was cleaned, like it was very clearly like brand new. And then I talked to the agent, they went back and forth, and then the landlord said, oh well, actually it's to clean the air conditioning unit. And that wasn't in the lease. That I know sometimes in some leases it might say the tenant was responsible for the cleaning the air conditioning, or it might say the landlord is responsible, right? But 1,500 would be a lot to clean one air conditioning unit. 1,500. Yeah, 1,500. Yeah, normally it would be like 500, 600, something like that. And so eventually the landlord sent, out of the 1,500 they withheld, they sent back 700 and kept 800. And there was no explanation. They just kept it. And the agent wasn't helpful at all. So, and I think that the landlord thought I went back to my home country and it would be hard to just take a little bit extra. But, and that wasn't a Thai landlord, by the way, before anyone says it. That was not a Thai landlord.
Right?
Yeah, well, you got
that
it.
happens a lot.
Yeah, so
don't want to mention it out loud.
yeah. So you're right, but I, you know, after being here for so long, I kind of just accept that some of these things happen, and you can do everything right, and still maybe something like this happens. So I think it's more about mitigating the damage than expecting everything to go perfectly. So
I feel like you have to be like super straightforward. Like for my advice, like, you know, when you're moving out, you communicate with the agent and the landlord first of like, I will be responsible for cleaning.
Yeah,
fee.
that is a really good tip. I didn't do that. I thought,
So if you don't tell them, they're gonna like, they don't know if you clean it already or not.
yeah,
So
well,
they're gonna
in this
charge
case,
you.
it was really obvious because it was brand new. And I even sent photos to the agent afterwards. I sent photos and I confirmed and the agent said it's good. But what I should have done is I should have contacted the landlord or the agent and said, hey, I'm going to hire a cleaning. Is that okay with you to satisfy whatever? Like I should have asked them before and had them say, yep, okay, you do it. And then it would be hard for them to say something after, I think.
So be straightforward and be like, you know, hey, like, because sometimes like landlord, they just kind of like do things in their own way. So they're gonna charge whatever they want. But so if you like don't speak up, they just gonna do whatever. So before, like, I would say 1 month before the move in, make it clear and don't call, write it down. So you have like proof,
Right.
black, like, you know, black and white. Like, I will be responsible for cleaning and you will not charge anything. But normally that works unless the cleaning is not good enough. So they charge you more.
Right.
And then, or sometimes, even like before the move in, if you like worry, let the agent put something else, like some extra cost in a contract of like, you know, like who is responsible to do what and when moving out, because some people just like ask to put like tenant is responsible to clean the AC before leaving. So you make everything clear right from the start. So when you moved out, easy. So no one couldn't really like.
Yeah. So
Trick
we're
you.
talking about around the time you move out. But when you move in, what should you do about the condition of the apartment? Should you take pictures?
You should
Is there a
take pictures.
document you should fill out?
The agent normally do that for you. So, but like the agent, some professional agent will do that. They will make a list of the full furniture. But for the peace of mind and what I would recommend to all my clients, like when you moved in, take a video. Like the full video, like, you know, walk through the whole apartment, every corner, take a video and do it very slowly so you could spot, you know, very like clearly. So do the video. So like, you know, because that's how the condition before the move in, you didn't do anything. So you protect yourself by making the full video. So, and you keep that. So yeah, so that's the safe place to stay, because like you're gonna stay for like a year, 2 years, and of course the apartment is not gonna look the same, right? So take a video and keep it in your phone. But the agent had videos and pictures anyway, but like just to make sure that like, you know, it's, you have it as well. Yeah,
I think those are great tips. Guys, I think she gave us some great information. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Where can they find you? If someone's coming to Bangkok and they want to find an apartment, how can they contact you?
so my Instagram page is called BKK Property Ventures, so you can list that down. And then my Facebook page as well, BKK Property Ventures, or WhatsApp or Line. The website's coming. So yeah, so you will like, most of the people that contact me, they follow me on like social media platform, like Instagram and Facebook. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, if you found it helpful, then share it with a friend, post it online. And if you want to see more about living in this wonderful city, hit the subscribe button and we will see you in the next video.